Alright, now the question is, where did we leave off? Well, apparently I've been doing some work to mech, so I'm guessing the plan was to leave the system. Let's double check that is indeed the plan. There are contracts still to do here, but yeah, they look like the kind of, well, this one we could potentially do. The question is, do we have the mechs to do them? We don't have a full lance. Alright, so now that we've qualified that, the question is, can we do more work then? So I worked on the Vindicator. Oh, I remember that. So we got that really cool PPC, and I think I did the math on that incorrectly before because I was thinking about this. Let's just pop over to it. So this snub-nose PPC, it actually does 75 damage, right? I think I said 60 before. It does 75 damage, so that is a hell of a lot of damage. It is close range, but it also does the equal amount of stability damage, so wow, this thing will be amazing. Especially if we can put the second one in a mech, like maybe we get a Marauder or a Warhammer or something like that later on. These do seemingly, yeah, they're 1 ton less than a normal PPC, so a normal PPC is 7 tons, this is only 6. And they do the same amount of heat, so you really wouldn't be losing anything there because Warhammers and Marauders already have a PPC, so you'd be at the same heat scale. But yeah, if we could get 2 of these in one mech, that'd be pretty devastating. In any case, so let's take a look at store just to make sure we aren't leaving anything behind. And see if we maybe could modify another mech. Not really sure we can. I don't really remember what's all here. I know that there's a bunch of weapon systems I would have liked to pick up, but are unfortunately too expensive for us. There is a standard PPC, but it doesn't have any extra damage or anything, so I'm probably gonna forego that. Yeah, that's basically what it is, Leo. It's like a sawed-off shotgun. Nice and close range. It hits your opponent multiple times. That's not really how a snub-nose PPC works in the tabletop game, but yeah, you know, they've already taken license with a couple other weapon systems, so I'm not too surprised. I assume they're going to do the same thing with the LB autocannon because this hits in clusters, I believe, in the tabletop game, if I'm remembering correctly. So they're probably this will behave like a shotgun probably as well. We'll have to see when we actually see one of these autocannons ourselves. All right. Well, in any case, I think we move on. I don't see any double heat sinks or anything like that we can pick up, which would be nice. So if that's the case, I don't really think we could modify anything else too much. I think we just move on. So now the task is to find where we're going to go. We need to get over to this flashpoint. We'll have similar damage scatter like LRMs. Yes, it will, but the damage groups will be bigger. It's 15 damage per group. So yeah, it's similar concept. It just, there's going to be less of them, and they do more damage. Alright, so this is the one we're going to, but the question I have, can we realistically go, where's the Yang one? I don't think we can realistically probably get this, because we have 178 days, so this is fairly new. I think 180 days is the typical, but to go from one edge of the system all the way over to the, or the map, all the way over to the other, I don't think that's going to happen. So I'd like to do this one as well. I think we have a couple other flashpoints that are probably too difficult for us right now. So those will be ignored. Then we have this mystery one. I didn't really read the description. There is a mech tonnage requirement, but it's at heavy, so yeah. Only 2 skulls. Commander, I have an important task for you. A rescue operation at the utmost edge of the Rimworld frontier. Meet me at the system, probably this is in, and I'll fill you in on details. So we don't really know everything here. It is the Draconis Combine paying us. We don't know who we're fighting. But there's no time limit on it, so we don't really have to rush to go over there. Oh, it says Flashpoint Campaign, so that's for the Flashpoint. I guess I never did that when I got Flashpoint. At least I don't think I did. Maybe I did. I don't really remember. Well, in any case, we don't want to jump all the way over to here because it would take 54 days, and it's a lot of jumps. It costs us a lot of money. We're still probably a little tight on that. So maybe we can find something a little more halfway. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start with half skull planets and see if we can find anything there. I'd like maybe an easy thing, but it depends on what we find in the system. Like this one isn't really jumping out as being especially good. This one's probably too short of a jump, so I'd probably prefer not to go here. But if we do find something with Star League technology, I would like to stop there just to see, or Star League base. I'd like to stop there just to see if we can confirm that every time we go there, there's these Tech weapons. Small population, not particularly good. There's some mining and other things, but none of these systems are really striking me as being fantastic. Let's go to One Skull. Okay, we got one relatively nearby. This might not be a bad jump. It's got a black market. Small population. Okay, it's got a travel hub, which could be good for us from a standpoint of buying more equipment. All right, let's go to 1.5. So possibly Herodotus. But let's go 1.5 skull and see if we find anything good there. That's a little out of the way. These are kind of out of the way. I think we go to that 1 skull location because we're starting to get a little out of the way. And I think 2 skull is probably a little too difficult for us at the moment. Maybe we could manage it, but you have to depend on a little bit of luck. A lot of 2 skull locations, though. Nothing really jumping out at me, though. I think we go to the 1 skull location and we just go from there. Our main objective is just to get closer to this. And this might get us close enough that I'd be willing to just go ahead and get there. We could also jump to here, potentially, if we have enough time. Although that is a lunar climate, which I really would not like. This is Terran, so it's not so bad. I say we go here. So we'll go ahead and punch that in. I don't think there's any other work we need. It's still kind of expensive at 120,000, but it's not anywhere near what it was before, and we get some contract potentially. I do need to check to make sure. Let me pause for a second. I just want to make sure. Okay, we are doing a ship upgrade. That's good. Money-wise, yeah, it's a little tight, but we should be okay. We'll get our 1 pilot that's injured back with this time frame as well. I don't think there's anything else we really need to do. So our goal now is just to get more mechs, so we've got a little bit more depth to our lineup. Okay, we're all done there. We have a financial report as well. We continue to pay generous to try and get our morale up, because it's pretty important, although that is going to make money a little on the tight side. Just over $1 million. But we do have another ship upgrade that we're more than likely going to end up paying for. I'll try and go for something relatively cheap until we can get some more money into the system. Now, once we get to that flashpoint, we have a potential of making a lot of money, so I'm not too worried as long as we get there, which I think we'll be able to. I just have to be careful with how many more jumps I do, because I don't remember. I'd have to look at it again to see what kind of time frame we're looking at. But I still think we have some relatively cheap upgrades to do, so I don't think we're really in trouble. And they would be meaningful ones that would help us. Getting the upgrades to our mech bay going to be pretty important. So we don't have the problems where we spend a lot of time in system trying to repair. All right, let's go ahead and go to engineer bay. Alright, so we still have a couple things in here. I believe this one here is fairly cheap. And yeah, that's pretty cheap. Get a couple tech points. I think most of the other things we can do are fairly expensive, unless maybe it's repairing the electrical system or the structure. Like, this is really cheap, so if we were super tight on money, I would do maybe this, because it opens up more things to build. But I think we go with the repair scaffolding. It's fairly cheap. It will help for the future, so.
Right, I'll get the team on it right away.
All right, but money is pretty damn tight right now. Okay, let me just double check how much more time we have for this flashpoint, so I'm not lollygagging, because I really do want to do this one. We have 97 days, so we can easily make that. Okay. Not going to be difficult to make that time frame. The problem is, can we get to Yang's mission too? I don't know if Yang's mission pays all that well, though. Yeah, I know. We're gonna go bankrupt. Don't bother me with these details. Late in the evening, Legend ducks into your quarters. Dark circles rim her bloodshot eyes. Hey, Commander, I know you're busy, but I don't know where to turn. What's wrong, Mech Warrior? The Legend's voice trembles. I haven't slept for days. I can tell. I keep thinking, why me? Why am I alive? I've seen ejections fail, ammo explosions, and impossible headshots. Rookies, veterans, it doesn't matter. How long until my picture is added to the memorial wall? Well, we haven't lost anybody yet. So we could refer her to the med techs, which would give her, you know, that. I honestly don't know what the right course here is. I've never had this particular thing. I mean, my thing is to say reassure her, right? Help her forget her troubles might not really be... I mean, like what? We go to the bar and get a drink? You know, I don't know if that really solves long term. I'm gonna say reassure. Oh, okay, that apparently worked. We'll all end up on that wall one day, but it takes more than luck to make it as far as you have, Mech Warrior. You rest a reassuring hand on Legend's shoulder. You're here because of your talent. Frankly, you've taken some hits that would have put me in early retirement. Legend stares at her boots. But what if I slip? Then we'll catch you. Every single member of this outfit has your back, on or off the battlefield. If you need to talk for an hour or a night or every night, I'm here for you. Thanks, Commander. A faint smile cracks Legend's face. I won't abuse this privilege. You have my word. But she's become dependable, which is a permanent trait. And she now has high spirits as well, which is good. Pretty much how this works, if you're not as familiar with the game. It lowers the morale cost of doing a lot of the special abilities, which is pretty nice. The only problem is that it does have a time limit, and if you're like we are in between systems, if it takes too long to get somewhere, your high spirits can run out and you really get no benefit of it. Although low spirits work similarly, and is the opposite. It's the negative end of that. Let's take a look at her real quick. I don't remember her having any other necessarily bad traits. So she's dependable and honest. And then otherwise, she has high spirits, but that's temporary. And she's from the periphery. Okay, so she's probably going to be our main pick, because her and Drake are fairly similarly skilled. They have the same skill set. But because she has high spirits, that's going to make her more valuable from that standpoint of being able to use more special abilities. So, yep. That was all in all a pretty good event. But that could have gone either way. Maybe our reassurance wouldn't have worked. Sometimes the same solutions don't always work. There's a little bit of randomization with these events. But oftentimes common sense wins out. And I personally think trying to get her to forget her troubles, that sounded more like going to the, you know, the cantina and getting a drink, and I don't know if that really solves the problem. It just puts it off for another day, right? And sending her to the medical thing could have helped, but then again, maybe not.
Our nest egg is just about gone.
Yeah. Stop bugging me about us going bankrupt.
Looks like we've arrived, Commander.
All right, let's visit the store first and foremost. I mean, we have no money. Might as well go shopping, right? All right, we actually have weapon systems. We haven't had that in a lot of systems. Nothing really special with that one. LRM-15 with extra stability damage. That could be maybe worth it. SRM-2 with extra damage. Okay. Not really seeing anything special. LRM-15 is the one that jumps out at me. This is the one we could potentially buy. It's not all that expensive. Stability damage is really not all that great, though. I mean, it's better than nothing. I'll have to think about it. I'm not going to buy it right away. Let's take a look at the contracts. That's going to be the more important thing here. Alrighty. So this is only a one skull location, so we're going to have a variation of about a half skull, give or take. So we have recovery. That's probably a fine mission to do. We're going against the Canopians. Let's see. We've got local government, the capture base. So that's probably not going to be high on my list of things to do, but not necessarily a bad thing. We're against the Capellans, Canopian convoy. Okay. pirates. So this is against pirates. So the pirates are killing the Canopians, and the Canopians are killing the pirates. I think that's fair. That's fair. Okay, this one is against who? Systems of religious police. So that could just be against the local government, although we see Capellan here. Yeah, alright. So it is maybe against the Capellans. Let's more look at the missions, though. I don't see any battle missions so far. They all seem to be other things. Here's one. It's in Polar. So this one probably going to be nice and easy. So it's going to be against the Canopians, local government. It doesn't pay all that well, but this could be a nice simple one to get a little tiny bit of experience in some of our less experienced mech warriors. Matter of fact, now might be a good time to look on the market for more mech warriors as well. Okay. More than likely, I'd want somebody a little bit more skilled. Oh, okay. You have a couple traits that could be potentially good, and we could use you as either a backup scout, because you do have not bad tactics, or a backup attacker, because you already are along the piloting path. So Truck kind of leans out to me as being a potential. Starfish. I feel like she's not high on the list. Yeah, you know, honestly, I think we hire Truck. Because the technical school and medtech background could actually be really good for us. And again, skill set, we could use her a couple different ways. I think we do need a backup scout, and we do need a backup attacker. Now, the scout's going to be more important. But yeah, I figure we hire her.
New mech
Okay,
warriors
let me take a look at the mech warriors now on our thing. We only have one more slot for mech warriors, but we're going to need like more mech warriors than we have at the moment, because we will have a flashpoint that does have consecutive deployments. So having as many pilots as we can, probably a good idea. All right, so for this half skull mission, we're going to use our lesser experienced pilot. So I'm probably going to use Truck right away. And then Yellow Jacket, I think, is probably also on that list. I'm going to use a legend regardless, just to take advantage of her abilities. Maybe we use Crackshot here, so it would be Truck, Yellow Jacket, and Crackshot. Maybe my pilot, because I keep getting injured. I'm a little behind the curve of where I should be.
Yes, Commander.
Now, Yellow Jacket's going to continue to get experience through the simulator, but who knows how much more she's going to get there. I'm not sure what way I'd take her either. I think I can maintain 8 pilots. More than that, I'd say no. Alright, so Truck for sure. Yellow Jacket maybe. I'd like her to be at least usable. So what I'll do, because I don't know what I'm going to use her for, I'll probably make her more generalized. Although tactics is probably going to be something I don't emphasize too much. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of give her, like, I don't know, 3 across the board almost. I guess we could do 3 across the board, although I'd prefer to get her up more on other skills here. Yeah, we'll go with that. Just gets her a little bit. Although I am having to pay more for her having those abilities. We don't have anything for you to level up. My pilot doesn't get paid anymore for leveling up, but I also want to save for this, so nothing to spend there. Theo's saving for that, so nothing to spend there. We're gonna use Legend more than likely. I think I'm trying to get up to here with her, so saving with her I think also makes sense. Drake, we're not gonna use this mission.
Waiting for orders.
Crackshot, huh? Okay, again, probably save up. So really, we're saving with most of our pilots. Alright, let's go ahead and do that contract. I'll figure out who's going to be in the mission. I mean, it's only going to give me 500 experience, so it's not going to be that much. But let's go ahead and negotiate. Now, it could get upped in difficulty, and then we would get more experience. But I think we go more for money than salvage here, because salvage isn't that good anyway, and it's not going to be very good salvage. It's a half-skull mission. Where we're at in the mission, or our campaign, not really going to get a lot. So let's go ahead and go with that. Okay, so Crackshot, that's fine and dandy. Although the Vindicator has now changed its role. So I think we actually switch that over. The Enforcer is now the one with the long-range firepower, and the Vindicator is more our close-range brawler. Alright, so initially I was thinking using Legend, maybe My Pilot, and then probably Truck in place of Brunswick. So in this case, we wouldn't be using Yellow Jacket. Alternatively, we put Yellow Jacket in the Vindicator and just give her that little bit more experience, and we just don't worry about the high spirits here. Nah, I'm fine with that. We'll go with this. Yellow Jacket is not good enough of a pilot, and 500 experience is not going to make that much of a difference. So let's go ahead and go deploy with this. I think mech-wise, we're good to go. What did the other Panther setup do? Oh, that's right. We have a long-range support Panther, which I could use instead of the Enforcer. Yeah, sure, what the hell. This mission isn't going to really require too much firepower, really. Alright, let's go ahead and deploy this. I'm not sure where my head is and everything. I kind of made a best guess. So I'll try and peek over and see if I'm obscuring anything once we get into the mission. At least I'll try and remember to do that. But yeah, unless we get really upped in difficulty, I expect this mission to be a cakewalk. It's a battle at half skull. We're well beyond that at this point. And another thing that you have to take into account is that we've made some of our mechs very, very good. So I don't think this one's going to be difficult. But we're not getting paid all that much anyway, so... Every little bit helps, though. Commander, you've arrived in the region where the enemy was last detected. Move forward and clear them out. We shouldn't let any of them get away if we can help it. Alright, nice and easy. Alright, you go ahead and run into cover here. I mean, they're really point-blank range already, so I'm going to actually have you back off a little bit, because we'll probably get sensor contacts pretty much right away. Oh, or not. Yeah, probably a jump works. Go ahead and have the Vindicator jump here, and then maybe we have a path to jump down next turn.
Jump jet engaged.
Into these woods. Oh, okay. They're a little off to one side. I guess it's good that we jumped over that way. I'm going to go ahead and have the Phoenix Hawk jump over here somewhat aggressively. And the Jenner. Now, they're not necessarily all going to be in that place. Sure, fine. We'll sprint over there.
Location confirmed.
Ah, let's see. Going over here, we found another one. There may not be more than just these two mechs, too. Okay, there we go. Confirmation that there are more than just the two. Alright, let's go ahead and reserve. Allow the other two to pull up. That one over there will more than likely probably see me. But that's okay. So we got a Locust 1S. And a Locust 1E. Locust 1E, I assume, was going to fire at me. Yeah, they're just good. Alright, because of the pilots I picked, they do not have sensor lock, so we're just going to have to depend on other means to do damage to these guys. An aggressive jump with the Phoenix Hawk on this Locust 1S, I think, is in order. Does have some damage reduction, but I don't know if 25% is really going to save this guy too much.
All weapons committed.
Okay, took out the leg. This mech will more than likely go down.
Critical damage detected.
Before you get 4 headshots in a row. Oh, we'll see. Alright, so Legend in this mech should be able to follow up here nicely. Unfortunately, we weren't able to jump down off of that bridge. We could jump down here and attack this guy, but he's got so much evasion, probably not going to be able to hit him. But with this, I mean, we're going to murder the hell out of this guy. Maybe instead, what I'm going to do is we'll do a multi-target situation. A lot of range bands take stock of with this. Oh, shit. I did not do that right. Whoops! I didn't pay attention to my arc. I didn't have him in the arc. Well, I screwed that turn up.
Giving them everything I've got.
Oh, well, that guy's dead.
One less target.
Alright.
Commander.
I'm gonna have to be somewhat conservative with the Jenner, purely because there are multiple enemies here, and they... Oh, you know what we could do? We can take advantage of initiative here.
Heading out. Mm-hmm.
If we use Vigilance. So what do we got? Another Locust 1E? Okay, so this is not going to be a tough fight at all. Alright, we'll just go ahead and open up on the Locust here.
Here goes.
Didn't have a high chance of hitting it, but at least we scared him a little bit, right?
Guess I'm gonna have to try harder. Waiting for orders.
I mean, morale is tracked in this game, so it apparently is important. We're just going to move slightly.
Ordnance received.
Open up on the Locust here. Again, not great chances to hit, but
This should be good.
hey, we hit with a large laser. That's something. Okay. So,
Yeah.
truck can continue to move here. I'm going to go ahead and move like... Actually, a good question. How am I going to move like? I guess we'll move like that. Maybe the Locust gets in behind me. I don't think that guy
Roger
moved
that.
first, though. I think it was the other one. And the AI tends to be pretty consistent on who they move. On top of that, we can do this.
Here we go.
I was hoping to take out that leg. Panther should be able to follow up nicely. Yeah, it looks like we might be able to get out of this one without even getting hit.
Standing by.
This is a multi-target situation. You're going to be A, you're going to be B. B is going to be the medium laser, which doesn't have a good chance to hit anyway.
10-4.
Okay, another large laser hit. No meaningful damage. Yeah. It's not really, it doesn't work that way. But it's fine.
Light damage. Holding firm. Orders.
Alright. Yeah, let's just go ahead and jump in here in a nice cover, and we'll open up on the already damaged mech.
Good to go.
Ouch. And we get to see that stability damage play in there, because he just lost all his evasion charges because we knocked him unsteady. And that's going to be kind of important. I think I'm just going to walk forward here, because we are running a little on the hot end of things. I think I'm going to... do we even multi-target here? Because I don't think there's going to be much benefit, because they're going to beat me to the punch anyway. So I think we just try and take out the mech that's already damaged here. It's probably going to go down, but no guarantees. I mean, we missed quite a bit. Gonna come in and melee me, huh?
Barely hit.
Have a little bit of a
Commander.
small laser attack there as well. Alright. My prediction we get through this without taking damage, unfortunately, did not come true.
I'm listening.
I'm gonna have Truck try... I don't know if we have a good position we can get in here, though. Maybe we just have the Panther go?
Commander.
I'm gonna multi-target this. So you're gonna be A. You're gonna be B. B is gonna be the LRM. I don't have a great chance to hit here, but I figure we give it a go. Because even the medium laser, as I was gonna say, could kill him. Yeah, we really do need double heat sinks, but we know that they're in New Vandenberg, so we can always swing by there and get a couple. What I was hoping is that we'd get one more double heatsink, and then I could add in the medium pulse laser to the Phoenix Hawk and just get its damage potential up there a little bit more.
Right here.
That Locust just stood still. Is not a great move for it. Get in behind it.
Here goes.
Maybe this runs us too hot? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it runs us too hot. Oh.
I'll try and make this quick.
Oh, it's nice focus damage. Guess it didn't really matter.
I got him.
3 medium lasers is still quite a lot for a Locust that doesn't have full armor and you're hitting in the rear. Alright, excellent work, Commander, though I do wonder what they were looking for.
Mission successful.
So I didn't know necessarily if they were advertising this, but I'm kind of getting the feeling that we've advanced in time with the heavy metal DLC, because the kind of tech that we now have is we're getting away from the third succession war and getting more into the fourth succession war. Now, in theory, the fourth succession war should be happening if that has indeed happened. At least I think it should have. I'm trying to remember, did that technology happen during the fourth succession war, or was it after the fourth succession war? Because I know it was the what is the name of that core that they found? Was it the Grey Death Core, or I forget what the core they find. It's kind of getting into the lore a little bit, but there is a computer core that is discovered by the Grey Death Legion, and they are able to. This computer core has a lot of the old Star League era technology on it, more or less, and the Grey Death Legion was able to disseminate that information, and that led to a renaissance of the more advanced technology from the Star League era, and then more weapons were also developed and what have you. And all that stuff happened, I think, after the Fourth Succession War, but I forget the time frame 100% off the top of my head. But it had definitely happened before the clan invasion. Now, the clan invasion is quite a way away. If this game started in 3025, and let's say we have advanced somewhat in time, still, the clan invasion could be a ways away. So, I don't know. I know a lot of people are hopeful they're going to do an expansion that does the clan wars. If they keep with the timeline, the Fourth Succession War should happen first, unless they jump over a lot of time. So, in any case, let's go ahead and continue here. I don't really want the mechs per se, but it looks like we're going to get most of everything here. How many small lasers do we have? We have 7, so there's not really a reason to grab that. Fine, we'll grab the 1S. Doesn't really matter. And also, if we were into the Fourth Succession War era, then there wouldn't be a separated Federated Suns and Lyran Commonwealth. They would be the FedCom Alliance. Would any Succession War really be seen this far out? Well, so this game takes place right after the Third Succession War, and the Third Succession War is the one where okay, let's get a little into the history here. So the Succession Wars was to reclaim the throne of the the Emperor of the Star League, more or less, and all of the houses put their own claim on it, and they fought very fiercely. So the First Succession War was just devastating war. They used all the weapons that they had available to them, the Star League era weapons, and they just decimated each other. And a little bit more of that happened in the Second Succession War as well. By the time the Third Succession War came around, the Third Succession War was the longest lasting of the Succession Wars, and it was much slower paced because they had annihilated each other's military assets to the point where really the most they could do were like raid level attacks, not really full scale invasions or anything, not for the most part. And that's where this game takes place, at like the tail end of the Third Succession War. The Third Succession War has just ended, more or less. The Fourth Succession War happens pretty much right after the Third Succession War, and this is where they've started to reclaim some of their industrial might after the slowdown of the Third Succession War, and the Federated Sons and the Illyrian Commonwealth form an alliance, and they almost wipe out the Capellans. They really squeeze the Capellans hard. The Comstar, which is like kind of the old vestiges of the Star League Defense Force. Comstar aids the Draconis Combine with Star League era mechs, and through that, the Draconis Combine is able to. There was some mistakes made by Comstar when they sent some of those mechs, and they kept some of the Star League era weaponry in there. So the Draconis Combine was able to reverse engineer a decent amount of that, which is what kind of also kickstarted a renaissance of the technology. But they were able to use those mechs to help fight off the FedCom alliance. So the Draconis Combine didn't suffer as much as the Capellans did, and the Fourth Succession War was fairly short, though, because Comstar stepped in. Comstar is responsible for taking care of the HPG grid, I believe it's called. It's more or less the interstellar communications grid. And because Comstar more or less controls that, they were able to get the FedCom Alliance to stop the war, because they pretty much threatened them with cutting off all communications. And without interstellar communications, it's kind of hard to organize a war. So the Fourth Succession War did not last long. Then there was a long period of relative peace where the Renaissance really kicked off and the technology started to come back. And then we have the invasion of the clans. So that's like the time frame kind of in a nutshell. So the Fourth Succession War doesn't really last that long. So in theory, maybe it already happened. But if that's the case, then we should have a FedCom alliance. These two... actually, it'd be better if I went to reputation. The Federated Sons and the Illyrian Commonwealth should not be separate entities if the FedCom alliance has happened. So that would be my one evidence that the Fourth Succession War has not happened yet. I don't really remember how much time was in between the Third and Fourth Succession War. I don't remember off the top of my head. I know that the Third Succession War kind of ends at 3025, and that's the time period this game's supposed to start. And maybe it's a couple years. I don't really know when the First Succession War happened from a year stamp. So that's something you could probably look up. A good place to look up a lot of this information is a website called Sara.net, SARA.net. It's kind of a wiki of sorts for all the Battletech lore. Highly recommend. In any case, we blabbered on enough about history and stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the contracts. Alright, so we just did a half-skull mission. There's another half-skull mission. I figure we might as well do this. It's an ambush convoy. I think we can do this fairly easily, though. At least in my mind we can. So let's go ahead and negotiate this one. Same thing here. I'd rather have the money than the salvage. And we might just run this back with the same pilots. Because I want to get Truck enough experience that we can use her as a scout. The bare minimum that I'd like from her is to get sensor lock. And she's only one away from getting that skill, because you get that at 5. So it'll take a little bit, but I think it's 1600 to get that. So yeah, I'm alright with the mechs we're using too. The Enforcer technically has more firepower and has no different maneuverability than the Panther, but we get some LRMs and stuff that might be in handy, so go ahead and deploy. But yeah, Sara.net is great because it has information on the lore, it has information on the mechs, both lore and like their technical details, all the different variants that existed, what those variants consisted of, like what kind of gear they had, which sometimes isn't as easy to find as you'd think. Especially like some of the Star League era loadouts of stuff, like you can get that information as well. Sometimes they're not all that specific though, like they'll say it comes with this, this, and this, but you don't know like the exact specifics, like how many tons of armor did it come with, how many heat sinks did it come with, like all that stuff. It might not be spelled out very clearly, So you're kind of have to do a little bit of figuring out, but it's cool from that standpoint. You can find some of the more rare variants. And they also have some like non-canonical stuff, because there's been some like offshoots of the Battletech universe that they were games that existed, but they're not necessarily part of the canon. So a good example of that is there was a game, and by the way, I do have these. I might want to show them to you guys at some point, but they're the people that came out with, what was the name of that game? They had Hero Clicks, which was the superhero thing, but they had another thing. It was like Night something. It was this big fad in like the early 2000s, I want to say. But the idea is it was a miniature game, and you had like all of the information that you needed for the different units was on the unit itself. It more or less used a dial on the base of the miniature, and you would click. That's why they used the word click. You would click the dial over, like, so if you took damage on a unit, you would click over 1 or 2 or however much damage you took, and then you'd have new stats, right? Kind of how that worked. But they did make a MechWarrior variant of that game, because the company that owned that ended up buying the rights after FASA went under. They ended up buying the rights to all of FASA's stuff, so they got the Battletech license, right? So they came out with their version of these clicky based, miniature game. They came out with that for MechWarrior, but that takes place like way in advance, like the timeline, like way at the end of the timeline. But I don't think that anything that happens in that game is considered part of the canon, because they take a lot of license with stuff. 3025 to 3028 was the interim, is what Leo is saying. So a few years. This is the only window we have of striking the convoy, Commander. We'll need to recon the area. Once we find the convoy, we'll hit it hard and knock it out. Once the targets are down, we'll rendezvous with the Leopard at the extraction point. Let's do this by the numbers, Commander. Olivia are out.
Good spot to work on a 10.
I think it was called Mage Knight. I'm trying to remember what the original game was called.
Yes, Commander.
It's been so long. And it kind of operated like, like the collectible card games, insofar as you would buy a box and you wouldn't necessarily know what was in it. So there was an element of randomization on, what you would get.
Jump jet, engaged.
And I remember people getting pretty crazy with it. I remember a dude coming into the gaming store I used to go to and just buying a whole shelf of the thing. Coming in with a big Tupperware container and just buying the whole shelf. All in one go. And of course, just like any of that stuff with the artificial scarcity of certain things, there was a trading element to it, so people would resell some of the rarer stuff.
Primary target on screen, Commander.
Maybe when I go on break, I'll try and remember to bring over like the MechWarrior based stuff, so you guys have a rough idea of what I'm talking about. It's been a long time since I've played, so I don't know if I remember the rules or anything, but yeah, I got involved. There were a couple tournaments I ended up doing back in the day. I remember doing fairly well. I don't remember much beyond that. But they were just local tournaments at like local gaming stores. It was nothing serious. And we've got a spider. And a panther. That might be all the opposition we see. All right. Panther probably doesn't have a lot of evasion, or we might be able to take advantage of that. This is in the desert, so I do have to be somewhat careful of my heat. Why when I jump up here, can I see the one guy but not the other? That seems like an odd Oh, it's the range. First I was confused at why the vision was the way it was. You know, we're probably also... I was about to say we're probably better off just staying put. But the vehicles may indeed have... Oh, there's a third mech, potentially. Or a mech moving, or our vehicle moving at that initiative.
Holding for tactical advantage.
But the vehicles may have long-range weapons if they're... I mean, we tend to see strikers. That's interesting. The vehicles are operating at a higher initiative than they normally would. With a half-skull mission,
Commander.
that seems a little odd. Wish I had a better position to put this mech in, but I really don't. So it's a matter of, do we want more evasion or do we want a damage reduction? I'm gonna go with this move. It's kind of a compromise between the two. We don't get as much evasion as we could, but we do get... Yeah, as I thought, the Panther has no evasion.
Take this. Mm-hmm.
I like Truck's voice lines already.
Commander.
I think we just go in here and we smack this Panther hard.
Lifting off.
I might even do a precision strike here. Because at the moment, this is one of the mechs that I think the Phoenix Hawk is tied
Firing a full salvo.
with damage potential if I jump, because we do have that modifier when we jump. But without that,
A critical hit.
the Vindicator is our highest damage dealing mech right now. And also that stability damage is pretty damn good. I cannot get into cover. And I probably can't get... Yeah, I can't get close enough to do that. Really sure what kind of move I can do here. Interestingly enough, there's no road that these vehicles are following, which typically with a convoy raid like this, you would have an obvious road, but apparently not.
Engaging jump jets.
Alright, let's just go ahead and open up on this guy. We're not going to have a lot of...
Engaging target.
We're going to be running pretty hot here, but...
Standing by.
Crack shot. Probably not going to get a lot done here. Let's just do a normal move. Doesn't really matter if we jump or not. I'm just going to do the LRM-10 against the Panther. Hopefully we can get some lucky hits. Oh, they're all at a pretty good initiative scale, because this guy's also listed as a 5. I wonder if they have a... So, okay, so there's one thing I was really confused about in our last career mode, but I was looking at stuff. I don't know how they would have it in this particular scenario. It could just be that they have the pilot skill. There's a skill that gives you better initiative. But there is also a component in the Cyclops, which is an assault class mech, that gives their whole squad an initiative bonus, which is how they were doing some crazy initiative stuff. Because I was like, how is a heavy mech going at an initiative of, I think it was a 4, which is typically what a light mech does. It's because they had both the skill and they had a Cyclops in their lance. Which is how they were getting away with that.
Yeah.
I forget when the Cyclops was added. Alright, so this is our last chance to kill the Panther. I figure we go for it. It's kind of a super aggressive move, but... Guy doesn't have a lot of health left. And we could also take the arm out. We take the arm out, he doesn't have a lot of firepower left. We could do the precision strike just to try and make sure he goes down. I figure we do that.
Here goes everything.
That should get him. Yeah.
Took him down.
Now the question is just, oh, we got a mobile HQ. That could be why they have the better initiative. They may have added that component, because I don't think it used to be in the game. Let's see. We can't tell, because that's like an internal component that I don't think is listed. There's a fairly good chance that
Waiting for orders.
that vehicle has it. So if we take that out, we kind of solve that riddle. I think it has fairly good armor though, so I don't think this is going to do it.
Primary target is damaged, Commander. Keep it up.
But I would imagine the mobile HQ has that ability, because that does make sense. The reason why the Cyclops has that is it's kind of, it operates like a mobile HQ. The Cyclops was used as a command vehicle, let's just put it that way. Yeah, I don't believe you went. You're probably a striker.
Orders?
Let's just go ahead and just walk up. Try and take out that mobile HQ. I feel like that is a high priority target, because as long as they have this initiative advantage on me, that's a little problematic. It might go down fairly easily because I'm hitting it on that same side. We could multi-target here. I will do so, not like a serious multi-target, but I also want to burn down the initiative here. So I'll turn that medium laser off so we don't overheat. So in theory, this would get the kill, because, I mean, we have 75 damage here, all hitting the same side. I hope that would get the kill, and we'll also burn down some evasion.
Firing.
Yeah, there we go.
Primary target is taking damage.
Yeah. I guess I just didn't think about how the mobile HQ would have the same kind of abilities, because when this game first came out, the mobile HQ has been in the game since the very beginning, but it didn't definitely have that ability, because that was an ability they added on later. Kind of similar to like a lot of these new mechs, how they have special abilities. The Cyclops was not one of the mechs that came with the game when it first came out, so I think this is a perfect time to go ahead and do a punch, as we're running fairly hot, and our chance of hitting the spider is fairly good. And we can follow it up through the small lasers. Though a melee attack on vehicles is going to be a little bit more damaging. Yeah. Spider will be able to counterattack. Might get in behind me. Then again, those spiders do not have the... Oh, it just ran away. I was curious how it was... I think it could do an attack from that angle. It's not running hot. I'm not really sure why it didn't attack me. Oh, we might have knocked it stability-wise around. Oftentimes the enemy, when they get knocked around stability-wise, they kind of counteract that by going guard, because that gives you back a lot of your stability. Scorpion probably be an easy kill, so I'll go with that.
I'm there.
Not too worried about a galleon. It has just medium lasers and small lasers. Well, not really, apparently.
I'm listening.
You're also running hot. So 70 damage in one location might do what we need, so I'm gonna go ahead. We'll move over to the side.
Location confirmed.
And we'll stomp this guy. Unfortunately, we didn't get the scorpion kill. That should be a mech, our vehicle killed.
That's a junker.
We were running hot enough that I figured it was worth it. I expected the Scorpion to actually attack the Phoenix Hawk, but I guess machine gun distance was such that it kind of had to go that route. Alright, I'm going to do another melee attack here, and we're going to go after the Striker. Striker is a pretty high priority target, and I figure with 110 damage in one location, it will probably go down to that. The Spider was also a good melee strike
Engaging physical
target,
attack.
but it hadn't gone, the Striker hadn't gone yet, so I kind of prioritized it for that reason.
Mech warriors, show 'em what you got.
Okay, Legend has yet to go. Running very hot though, so not sure all what we're going to be able to do here, but I figure move up, at least get the PPC strike off. They'll turn everything off except for the PPC. This should do enough damage. I mean, we're hitting the same side. It's already got no armor, so high probability we kill it.
Method inbound, Commander. I'll meet you at the LZ.
And there's no reason to meet that Leopard, because we're going to be able to easily take out the last remaining mech. Even with a melee strike. Not necessarily what I would have done, in that situation. Honestly, I think meleeing here is probably the best solution. Well, a multi-target shot on that rear section might do good work.
Affirmative.
Question is, how much armor does he have in the front? Probably none, so this is actually hitting an area that is probably
Here goes.
more armored. But hey, it's a spider, so that armor is not going to really be all that meaningful anyway.
I got him.
Alright, all targets eliminated. We're done.
Mission successful.
Hey, Brunswick. Okay, and that takes care of our half-skull missions. Got a little bit of a bonus. Doesn't really matter. Okay. As far as things here, we probably don't really have that many AC5, so that's going to be my initial choice. Potential. We have a decent amount of everything else that's here, so I'm going to take that over any of these mech parts, although another Panther might not hurt. Alright. Well, our quest to get more money is working so far. Without too much of a hitch. Once we get into the 1.5 skull missions, though, we'll have to see. Because those could potentially be pushed up in difficulty. So we may run into some problems there.